Hey guys, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
How's it going, Dylan?
Oh, I'm doing so good today.
You're doing good?
I'm doing gooder.
Are you from the South?
I'm from somewhere down there, but I am open-minded.
You're well. You're doing well.
Yes,
Very well.
I'm
You're
doing well?
Exquisite.
Well, good. It explains it all, right?
We've had a fantastic week. You've been on vacation this week. We were actually supposed to go to New Orleans.
We had it all planned out.
It was our honeymoon.
Yeah, that the world shut down to stop our love.
Baby, our love will never stop. It's like a fucking freight train.
No, we've been forced into quarantine together inside of a small house.
Yeah, it's been going great. But we were supposed to go to New Orleans, and I was very excited. You've never been there. I couldn't wait to show you around and do all the cool stuff. And then, well, that didn't happen.
Oh, the food, the drinks,
the music,
the people, the
entertainment,
music, the swamp.
all the culture.
Oh,
the
man,
city. We were going to soak it up.
I hope it's still there.
It will be. I promise that trip will happen. But you had this vacation plan, so we went ahead and we vacationed at home this week.
Yay. It was a staycation.
It was a staycation. But we managed to get a few projects knocked out. We worked in our yard, the garden, worked on our little front porch setup.
I washed my car, my work car.
For the first time, like, ever.
In a year. It was horrible. And she made me paint.
We painted our bedroom.
But at least it's not almost black, so dark paneling. It's bright now.
Right. It's nice. Yeah, we live in like an older house with the tacky wood paneling walls.
So here's a pro tip. If you paint the paneling, make sure you get the paint with a primer in it.
Yeah, it actually didn't really take very long to knock out the room. I mean, I felt like, 6 hours?
Well, we got cranking there about the middle of it. We had a bit of a system going.
We did. So about 6 hours, but that was 2 coats.
But I did mope for the first 3 hours because I didn't want to do it.
Doing like all the, up by the top, the ceiling, the trim, all that stuff, taping and all that. It didn't really take that long. I was surprised.
No, it took longer to get all our shit out of the room. Because we got a lot of shit.
But we've been watching a lot of true crime. We actually listened. Audible's been saving my life during quarantine.
Yeah.
I've listened to so many books.
Yeah, we listened to a big, damn near 3 hours of that book of Patton Oswalt's.
Michelle McNamara.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Patton Oswalt's wife. Hello, she's her own person. Michelle McNamara.
Well, I was going to say her name afterwards.
About the Golden State Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't that guy.
You're going to be that guy.
Don't you put me in that fucking box
Well,
with
you
that
just
guy.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, well, fuck that guy. But no, it was very interesting listening to her book.
Yeah, I don't know. The Golden State Killer is one of those that I'm just kind of like, okay.
Well,
I think he's a fucker, and he did really horrible shit for real.
Well, here's the thing. It's a lot of victims.
Yeah, there's like a body of...
And he terrorized them, just, know, and they never felt safe again and all that shit. And it's drawn out over decades, right? But I thought she's a good writer. And it was interesting to that was my first audible.
Her take was very interesting.
Well, yeah, because she explains why she's kind of obsessed with true crime. She had a neighbor get murdered in her neighborhood, and she was rather young, and that always stuck with her. And she saw the whole, neighborhood never really get over it. You know how it just tore the whole neighborhood apart. So yeah, I mean, that was
a
very
really interesting book. And again, I mean, that's not really a case that I've been captivated by, but her book was great, and I highly recommend it if you haven't read it.
Golden State's just like the rest, dude. It's played out, bro. We get it. He was an asshole. He had a lot of victims. Somebody should have shot him, right? Cops had a chance to shoot him right there, and he all flipped the damn script on the ass. He acted like a little, oh my God, you got me. And then he shot the damn police.
They don't really know what you're talking about. They just need to read the book.
Yeah, or listen to it.
Yeah, or subscribe to Audible because it's pretty fantastic. And I've actually been using it as a resource on some of the cases we've worked on recently.
I'm going to start digesting content that way.
Something else that we've been binging this week is just called Reckoning on Netflix. And it's a serial killer limited series.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sam from True Blood. I actually don't really remember what his actual name is, but if you watch True Blood,
it's something Trammell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Sam from True Blood, y'all.
Yeah. And then the other fellow, the cop or whatever, he's on some other shows, I suppose, but I don't remember his name either. But that's a pretty interesting show.
Yeah.
Reckoning.
Yeah, it's
You felt like there was a lot going on.
well, I felt like there was almost like too many ties and connections because between the cop and the actual killer, and yeah, it's a lot going on. It seems like a little bit overwritten, if that means anything. Like they're trying a little too hard, but it was good. It was interesting.
I just thought it was different, so it kind of caught my attention. A lot of stuff doesn't. After
It's
like
pretty
2
good.
episodes, I kind of get over it. But, you know, it was a series that I stuck with, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I can't wait to watch the Netflix show Trial by Media.
Yeah, it looks very good.
It totally does. And did you ever see that Jodie Foster movie, The Accused? Jodie Foster, Kelly McGillis?
Isn't that where she gets raped on like the pool table or some
Yeah.
shit? Yeah, and like there's witnesses. Is that real?
And yeah, so
That's
this
real.
is the real story of that case. Cheryl Arugio, I think, probably butchering that name, but she was the victim. And it's based on the accused was based on her true story of that she was raped in a bar in this very public setting, and they just painted her in the media as like this tart and that she deserved it.
I know it's happened to many women before her and many since, but that really is where that whole ball of slut shaming and like turning all the tables onto the victim. That it really comes back to that case, doesn't it? Because that's just the.
I mean, I think that's always been a thing, but it was really one of the big cases. That
I always
kinda
remember that
sealed
case.
that exactly. So, Trial by Media is all about Cheryl Arugio's case, basically.
Okay.
So I can't wait to watch that. That's my next diving into. Are you ready to get into today's true crime?
I don't get
story?
people. I would kick somebody's ass if they started raping some woman in a fucking bar I'm in. I just don't get these people that stand around and watch this shit.
No, I don't either.
These kids.
Fucked up.
Them not long ago, them kids, all them people that stood around and watched that little 13, 14-year-old girl basically get raped right in front of them. Like, people's filming it and shit.
I don't know exactly what you're speaking on, but
Yeah, people know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mean like the Steubenville football team case or whatever?
I don't know.
Okay.
It was notoriously because like fucking 10 people stood around and filmed it and nobody stopped it. Nobody helped the poor little girl. So.
Well, that's some bullshit.
That is some bullshit. Nut up.
Are you ready to get into this week's Mountain Murders episode? I believe this is 86, bro.
Hey, double high five.
High five.
Yes, I am ready. I've got all my derailments out. Let's go.
All your wiggles are out. You're good.
I feel pretty good.
Okay. Well, Derek and Nancy Haysom were living retirement in a small but tony Virginia town called Boonesboro, which is located outside of Lynchburg.
So is that like a kind of ritzy part?
It is. Lynchburg is located in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains along the banks of the James River. Lynchburg, known as the City of Seven Hills, has a rich history, including being the only major city in Virginia that was not recaptured by the Union before the Civil War ended.
Oh, so the damn Confederates was holding out, huh?
Lynchburg was named for John Lynch, who at 17 started a ferry service across the James River. In the 1980s, around 66,000 people lived in the area, so it was like a typical small town. Not too small, but not quite like a city.
Yeah, just a big old town.
Derek Haysom was a retired Nova Scotia steel executive, and his wife, Nancy Astor Benedict Haysom, was an artist. Derek had traveled across the globe for work, having lived in some exotic locations. Derek was described as debonair, cultured, well-spoken, and just well-known.
Yeah, so he sounds like a...
suave guy.
Yeah, he sounds like a suave guy. Ooh, debonair. That's a word you would not use to describe me.
No, you're unpolished. You're a cubic zirconia in the rough, baby.
Oh, but I'm still got a little value, right?
Yeah, maybe like a nickel's worth. Nancy was goddaughter of Lady Astor, and if you're not familiar with Lady Astor, her real name was Nancy Astor. She was an American debutante who became a British politician, the second female member of parliament. Derek had spent much time in South Africa, where he worked as an engineer. It was in Johannesburg, or is it Johannesburg?
Oh, you go, Alex Trebek.
Right? That he met Nancy, and she was an American. Both were divorced. They fell in love and were married. Now, the pair had a total of 5 children from previous marriages. In 1964, the Haysoms welcomed their only child together, a daughter named Elizabeth. Elizabeth was raised in Nova Scotia, where Derek ran a steel mill. The couple was known as socialites. They were like upper crust, hobnobbing with rich, elite types of people.
They sound like they're hoity-toity to me, okay?
Active social lives. Again, they were well known. They were like popular, always out and about. And their kids were very successful. Lawyers, architects, engineers. I mean, so this paints a picture of a very successful, well-to-do upper middle class family.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Dad's executive, mom's artist, known artist. Yeah.
All of the kids are very successful.
Everybody seems to have a fucking accent.
Well, there's that. So Nancy's family was known in Virginia. They were very distinguished. She'd spent some time in Lynchburg when she was younger and knew some people in the area. So the couple decided to purchase a home there. When the Haysoms moved into their modest retirement estate,
Their modest estate.
that's how it's been described, Nancy called the property Loose Chippings,
Yeah, see, we don't name our properties where I'm from.
which in Britain means like random gravel on the road.
Oh, it's so clever.
And it was located on Holcomb Rock Road. The house featured a tennis court, swimming pool, and a beautiful view of the Blue Ridge Mountains. You know, just your modest estate.
Well, yeah, that's their forever home, and that's their single floor living.
Some might describe this house as modest, but I mean, it's definitely nicer than probably, I'm going to say, most of us live in. Despite Nancy's connections to the South, people in Boonesboro and Lynchburg took notice of the Haysoms. I mean, they were different. Sophisticated, polished, cultured,
Yeah,
well-educated.
Flying in and out with helicopters and shit.
Life at Loose Chippings was wonderful, and the Haysoms really seemed to be making the most of their retirement. They had a really active social life. They would take trips to Europe, lots of hobbies, and they had a regular bridge game with friends on Tuesday. Do you know much about playing bridge?
I've always heard of it my whole life. I just know it's like old ladies play it. You know, you always hear about the old ladies in the bridge club or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, I remember growing up.
Or wasn't it like a big deal with couples, right? It was.
I think so, and I just remember as a kid, like one of the local churches, I think, had like a weekly bridge game or something.
Yeah, and I'm going to assume everybody was about 70 that came there and played it.
Yeah, my mom has some girlfriends that play bunco, so maybe bunco is like the new bridge.
Yeah, so I don't. It's a cards, right? Is it just regular cards you play with? Or is it bridge cards?
Well, that's why I ask. I don't know if you'd ever played. Like, I'm not really familiar with it, so I'm not going to pretend I know much about bridge.
Well, maybe some out there can direct us on the bridge stuff.
Yeah, if you've ever played bridge, you can always send us an email at mountainmurderspodcast@gmail.com and let us know about your bridge team. I don't know how that works.
You know, I could just Google it, but I kind of like just people telling me shit they know that I don't know. You know, kind of like the old days.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Elizabeth proved to be a difficult child. She eventually was blah, blah. Elizabeth proved to be a difficult child for the Haysoms. She was sent to a Swiss boarding school, then to Wycombe Abbey, a boarding school outside of London, where she learned to speak formal English in the purest pronunciation.
Oh, wow. I wonder if they say some bitch.
Though Elizabeth was brilliant, a talented writer and artist, she was rebellious. The Haysoms had 5 other children, but Elizabeth was treated as an only child mostly, lavished and spoiled. Elizabeth had botched an interview for Trinity College. She had blown off her A-levels,
What's
which
that?
is some kind of big exam
Oh.
in at this British school.